Secretary of State Hillary Clinton took the stage this morning here in New York. I'm talking when the sun was up. Took that long to officially concede to Donald Trump. She very graciously and humbly congratulated Trump and urged her supporters to give him a chance.
We have seen that our nation is more deeply divided than we thought. But I still believe in America, and I always will. And if you do, then we must accept this result and then look to the future. Donald Trump is going to be our president. We owe him an open mind and the chance to lead.
But from the faces of the crestfallen supporters in the audience, boy, a lot of people got this wrong. Let us bring in two former governors. Former Democratic governor from Tennessee, which went to Donald Trump, Phil Bredesen, and former Republican governor of New Hampshire, which is still too close to call, Judd Gregg. Where do you think this is going to go, Governor Gregg, for New Hampshire?
It's not clear, but it doesn't matter right now because our 4 electoral votes won't affect the outcome. But they're 600 votes apart. That's about as close as you can get on 700,000 or more votes cast. So it's a pretty close race.
Governor Bredesen, everybody got this wrong when it came to the polls, the exit polls, the pollsters. They were all pricing in a Hillary Clinton victory. Where do you think they went wrong?
Oh, I think there were an awful lot of people. I see this as more of a cultural election than a Democrat versus Republican. I think there were a lot of people who wanted to send a message to the establishment. Donald Trump was a slightly politically incorrect choice, and I think a lot of people just either told pollsters the wrong answer or hung up on him, and I think it's not possible to poll in that kind of circumstance.
Governor Gregg, you've also served in the Senate as well, and it's pretty obvious, and it's not just me saying this, Paul Ryan admitted that the GOP rode into success to own all of Congress on Donald Trump's coattails. Do you foresee instant sort of, unification when it comes to the House, the Senate, and Donald Trump? Because there are Republicans in both of those arms there that disagree with some of his policies.
Well, that's always going to be the case, but I think you're going to see a lot of cooperation. And in fact, I think you're going to see quite early that Donald Trump appoints some very good people to senior positions in his cabinet. They're talking about taking folks like Bob Corker, who's the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, maybe make him Secretary of State. They're talking about Jeff Sessions as possibly Defense Secretary, 2 extraordinarily talented people. And then you've got a lot of other good people that are being talked about for different positions. And so I think you're going to see an administration that pulls people together. That's the way it appears to me. His speech last night was the exact right tenor, and if he maintains that tenor for 4 years, he's actually going to be a pretty successful president. And I also want to congratulate Secretary Clinton. Her speech was really very, very generous and very appropriate to how our system should work.
Absolutely, absolutely. And let's not forget President Barack Obama saying in the Rose Garden today that...
Same thing, yes.
Exactly.
I thought President Obama made an exceptionally good statement.
This is the way Americans handle these things. God bless America, certainly. Yeah. Governor Bredesen, what are the Democrats doing right now? Are they already planning for not 2020, the presidential election, but 2018 for the midterm elections? What's going on in their minds? What kind of conversations are happening behind closed doors?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think people have got to be sort of assessing what this all meant, and obviously the public was not ready to buy what Democrats were offering. I think we as a party need to rethink a lot about what it is we represent, to get some new ideas on the table, and to kind of reinvigorate the standing and I think the creativity the party has shown so many times in the past. I also think it's really important. That we not try to do the same thing to President Trump that happened to President Obama, which was just a lot of people who were dedicated to nothing other than making sure, in Obama's case, he didn't succeed. I thought that was an awful way, an un-American way to treat a president, and I, for my part, I think a lot of Democrats are prepared to try to do something very different with Donald Trump.
I hope so. It'll be very interesting to see what happens, but we so appreciate both of you guys through this entire election cycle. You've joined us, you've given us your insight, and we do appreciate it.